Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews. And today we are taking a look at the new NECA Shredder from the Ninja Turtles, obviously. So here's the box. Nice little box. I like the NECA boxes, actually. They are pretty cool. We can kind of see some shots here. Has a sword there. No sword in the box, though. Some other unmasked heads there. Then, of course, as usual, you do get the window with all the extra accessories in it. Some of these I have no clue what they're for, but yeah, he looks pretty good. I have not taken him out the box yet, obviously. You can still see like the little plastic, or those little plastic holders or whatever, still around his arms and stuff and around the accessories. So let's go ahead and get him out the box and let's get reviewing. All right, so here he is out of the box, and he looks like Shredder. He is definitely a chunky boy. It does look like he definitely put on some muscle on this version of him, and I'm happy to see it. I will compare him to the original Shredder. I do have him, and I'm happy to replace him. I do like this Shredder. I messed around with him for a little bit. He is your typical NECA kind of standard for some of the articulation and stuff. Like, they refuse to improve articulation. They just don't want to do it. But he does look really, really good. I do like the way he looks. Some of his articulation I do like. There's other parts of his articulation that I think definitely needs improvement. I'll just put it that way. The cape, I do like the cape for the most part. If you look on the box, I mean, it's clearly not the same. Like, it's clearly stylized in whatever style NECA likes to do. I mean, look at the face and look at his face. Like, those are clearly two different faces. Like, if you look at his face and then look at the face on the box, like, this clearly, this one looks slightly more realistic than this face here. His eyes are closer together. Even the cape here, you can see his neck in the cape. You can't see the neck here, which is kind of annoying. I'm wondering if the other cape will fit him better out from the original Shredder. I have to look and see if I can even take that one off. I don't remember if I can. Even the helmet is slightly different. The coloring is different. It's more of a bluish hue to it on the box. So clearly it's some stylization choices by NECA here, but that's always been NECA. You got the kind of the cartoonish type of lining here throughout the outfit. You know, typical NECA. I do like the color of his skin. You do have the spikes and stuff here on his shoes. And then the cape is a typical NECA cape. I mean, other than it being way too thick here, clearly compared to the picture on the box, this is way too much cloth here, and it is very, very annoying. Unfortunately, oops, I'm about to peel that off. I'll have to glue that back in. But unfortunately, NECA decided to attach the shoulder pads to the shirt. That's okay. I pulled it off, but it's a little peg right there. You just got to super glue it back in. But unfortunately, they made that choice instead of putting a cap or something here so it can rotate with the arm. So obviously that is going to hinder some kind of articulation. So that kind of sucks. But we'll get into that in the articulation portion. But either way, I don't know what material this is. It's kind of stretchy a little bit. You can see some of the stitch lines in the neck, which looks kind of tacky. And this is removable because he does have an extra head that you will have to put that on. I'll super glue this in a minute. But other than that, I think he looks good. We'll see what he looks like compared to the old Shredder, and that'll determine whether or not he'll actually be a replacement or he'll be going back to Target. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the accessories. Alrighty, so here he is with all his accessories. Well, not here he is, but here are all his accessories. We got some hands, some open hands, some weapon holding hands. I guess just the gun. He doesn't come with the sword that's on the back of the box. They are vertical hinged though, so that's a good thing. We got a couple of heads here. We got an unmasked head with the helmet on, and then we have an unmasked head with the helmet off. Some tacky ass money that doesn't look very good. We got a floppy disk drive, a necklace that also doesn't look very good. I'm assuming this is a picture of his mom, I guess. And we got a chef's hat for, I guess, that one scene in Ninja Turtles, whenever that was. A book of recipes, I guess, since he has a chef's hat. And then this ridiculous gun that nobody, I think, will ever use. Like, why? Why would he come with this? It seems like more of a foot soldier accessory. But yeah, he comes with a bunch of useless accessories, in my opinion. I mean, is anybody ever going to use this chef's hat? For him, anyway. Burkadirk, the guy from Chef from Sesame Street. Are you going to put it on him? Does anybody have any figures of him? The book doesn't open. I mean, the hands, maybe the heads, maybe. I mean, will anybody be posing him without his mask on? This head does fit really nicely on with the chef's hat. I mean, it does fit. I'll give him that. Definitely fits, and it's not falling off or anything. So that looks good on him. But I don't know who would ever use these. It's just an excuse for them to charge you $35 for these figures when they could just give you some hands, a couple of heads. And it would have been better just to get a sword, or even if they wanted to give you this dumb gun, that's all you need. This rest of this stuff can go off to the side here. That's all you need. What do you need the other stuff for? Take off $10 right here. I just eliminated $10 from the entire figure. So anyway, that's it for the accessories. Let's go on to the articulation. All right, so for articulation, he does have a double ball peg, but because of the helmet, it is basically useless. You can't look up, at least. Looking down is also not that great. You do get some side to side, but it would have been nice if they would have put a joint in the neck to move that around. I mean, they could have even possibly put just a long double ball peg from the chest up to the neck, or yeah, up to the, or just a ball peg from here to the neck. Maybe even cut it out right here. There's something they probably could have did there, but NECA isn't really known for doing stuff like that. So let's move on. The shoulder can go up that far, even with the shoulder pad on. Now, this is the issue with the shoulder pad. It doesn't move with the arms, so it's just going to look ridiculous when you try to hold the arms up or put them up like that. It's going to look stupid. Bicep swivel works pretty good. Another thing he can't get his arms straight down to his body. I guess this one is a little too thick. You do get a forearm swivel for the spike, so I love that. Your hinge joint, just your regular old hinge joint, and it's really stiff. Mine's kind of stuck on there, but just a really outdated hinge joint for the wrists. The diaphragm can twist a little bit. Going backward ain't happening. Going forward ain't really happening either. Side to side is negligible. And then you do get a waist twist that will pop out if you try to articulate his torso too much. But I mean, typical NECA, they don't really like to put any joints in the torsos. Splits, I mean, you can get the splits. You are going to stretch his little diaper out here, but you can probably get it all the way out. Thigh swivel is actually there, built into the hips there. Double jointed knee actually doesn't look too bad. It's not too bad. You do get a shin swivel as well, which is good. As far as the ankle, it can only go up about that far, down that far. And do we get a rocker? Yeah, it's a bit on the steep side, which is, I guess, why the swivel is there, but it's not the greatest ankle rocker in the world, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's very, very basic articulation for Shredder here. You're not going to be getting him in too deep of dynamic poses. You know, this is a soft piece. He's just going to kind of just stand there and look pretty good for the most part. I don't know. I kind of like the one shoulder pad look. But yeah, anyway, not impressed by the articulation whatsoever, but it is what it is. Your typical fare for NECA. But anyway, let's go ahead and do some comparisons and close this bitch out. Okay, so here he is next to the original Shredder, the OG Shredder, whose legs are super duper loose. I can get him to stand. And then the OG original NECA Ninja Turtles, Donatello, and then we have him next to the Mezco, Eastman and Laird Ninja Turtles. So yeah, you can see that this Shredder is way shorter. The original Shredder is way shorter, way skinnier, much skinnier. I mean, maybe their maybe their stomachs might be. No, I don't think so. And yeah, I don't think this. I think it's almost. I think the cape is the same. I think this is the same exact cape. I think they just reused the cape. It's a slightly different purple, but I think it is basically the same cape. Let me see if I can pop the head off of this one. I don't remember if this one came with any other heads, but I think that is basically the same cape. Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, you can't really replace the cape because they're the same thing. I do think this one looks better, although I almost want to say that the derpiness from this box shows more on this head than the new one. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about that. Smaller, he is definitely outdated. Oh, I forgot to mention that they don't have that this guy was pinless. He is all pinless, so they're there. I guess that's okay. I guess that's technically new for NECA. He is pinless, but he is taller, which this Shredder was already quite a bit taller. I don't have Donnie standing up all the way, but let's stand him up. So maybe this Shredder was a little too short. Let's see. Let's see if I can get Donnie to stand up properly. They definitely need to update these Ninja Turtles too, because these guys are definitely outdated. Yeah, he was quite a bit taller. He was quite a bit taller than the Ninja Turtles already. And so this much taller, maybe this might look better. This might actually look better. I think I do like the way that looks better than comparing to the Mezco Ninja Turtles, because they're actually, I think, slightly shorter than the NECA Ninja Turtles. So yeah, maybe this is correct. I mean, he does look better. He does look better than the old Shredder. So that is an improvement by quite a bit, if you ask me. This guy is pretty outdated, and his limbs were loose from the box. Like he was always loose. So yeah, but anyway, that's the real only good comparison to make here. But anyway, let's go ahead, close the video out. Okay, so wrapping things up here. Yeah, I think he is a good replacement for the old lanky, loose limbed shredder that we got, I don't know how long ago, 8 years ago or some shit like that. He is definitely a worthwhile replacement. So I will give it that. It does have its issues. This is the sword from the old shredder. It does not really fit in his hand for real. Also, the vertical hinge hands, I could not get those to move. They are completely frozen on my copy, unfortunately. And that is kind of a NECA thing for sure. Like, NECA is known for having frozen joints. So that's unfortunate, but that's not to say that they don't work. I'm sure they work, because the horizontal hinges work just fine, but the vertical hinge is just not working very well at all for some reason. But I do believe it works. But anyway, yeah, I think he's a good replacement. If you guys still have the old NECA Ninja Turtles, or you just have a Ninja Turtle display in general, I think he is worth getting to replace that old shredder, especially if yours is loosey goosey like mine. I mean, that is just disgusting. I had to put him on one of these to get him to even stand, and even still he was leaning back when I went to go pick him up for this review. So I appreciate having a new shredder. But anyway, that is it for the review. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.